Hey there, welcome to wesleygospel.com. Um, just want to encourage anybody that listens to me to keep your head screwed on tight because we're in for a rough ride. And if you haven't already experienced the rough ride, um, it's only because you're lucky. But um, and does lucky mean anything in Christian theology? Um, do accidents happen? Do chance things happen in a world in which God governs all things? I would think so. But at the same time, if we continue to put our faith in Him who sees all things and provides all things, um, that's how to react to that. It's hard to not let your mind get waffled into the natural realm during times of economic recession or economic depression. Proverbs 22:3 says that the prudent see danger and take refuge. And uh, we're in a financially dangerous time right now. The whole business world is just going through an economic insanity, and it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It really is hard to see how much longer this is going to be going on for. Um, there's just massive layoffs all the time. Here, I could just do this. I've even got a layoff tracker. That doesn't really indicate much to me, but um, if you go on Google and you type in 2024 layoffs, Boston Globe just yesterday put out Takeda laying off 641 workers in Massachusetts. 2 days ago, TikTok plans global layoffs. That's from CNN. So I mean, it's just layoff news. Like if you really are looking for it, you can get articles just feeding you every single day about big companies laying people off all the time. Uh, it's hard not to it's hard not to go insane or mentally, panic attacks, anxiety, and depression when you see this stuff happening. And it's only because we're going through a recession right now. The COVID-19 event created a massive amount of people working at home, something that had never happened before, where, we had this really dramatic spike where people were working at home 4 years ago, and the business world didn't really know how to handle that. And I think what happened is there was a lot of over hiring of these people that were working at home 4 years ago. And then as the COVID shots started to be used by people and people started returning back to the office and not working at home anymore, right? The economy is now in a place where it's self-correcting itself and realizing that it has to lay off all of these remote workers and other people. And again, it was mainly the tech industry that was doing this. Why? Because it's mainly the tech industry that hires remote workers. Remote work was born out of the tech industry, and so uh, it's. I wouldn't say that it's mostly remote workers who are being fired by tech industries, but I would have to say that it's probably mostly that. Um, and uh, and that's from everything I've read about this issue, this economic downturn, this employment crisis. It's all related to that. It's all related to people that were working at home and now they're not working at home because they had their COVID shots, and now bosses across the board who would prefer their people to come to work are firing off all the people that don't want to come to work because they like working at home. That's what I think is going on. That's why I think it is so hard for people to find jobs right now, because these businesses are realizing we can't sustain all these employees in the amounts that we've hired them. And you might think, okay, well, some of this doesn't make sense to me. Look, it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense, okay? You don't have to be God to understand aspects of this. You don't have to be a macroeconomist to understand every little thing. But I mean, this is kind of just to paint the picture somewhat uh, of what is going on, and the they call it, the economy is self-correcting itself, and uh, that is what's going on. Plus, we had the issue. There was a sort of a connection that happened during, before, or after COVID started, where Russia had threatened us, and Joe Biden froze Russia's finances, and that had a negative impact on the business world as well. So it was the Russia freeze, the Russia banking freeze, and it was the overhiring and economy self-correcting of remote workers and COVID return to work, people post-COVID return to work. So I'm not an economist. I mean, I guess I could say I'm an amateur economist at this point, um, because I've read 35 books on investing, but that's what I understand. And different projections have been made by different finance outlet publishers. And basically, they're saying this is going to go on well into 2026. Uh, so all of your expectations are shattered at this point, most likely. Um, if you are in some sort of a STEM career, um, you're probably not going to be threatened as easily. But if you're in, uh, particularly in computer programming, your position is probably more in danger than, say, a mechanical engineer. Uh, so it's particularly the software industries that are really coming under attack, and so um, because those are the ones that did a heavy amount of remote hiring. If you've always worked on site at a physical location through this whole thing, you're probably more stable. But even then, I wouldn't write off the fact that you might have to change your location, move, change companies, move somewhere else. I mean, these are extreme times, and they call for extreme measures. And you know, it is really scary. You know, the job market, finding work, the amount of people who have just gone out of business, not just these big, conglomerate corporate corporate uh, names that have made it into the news, but I mean, I spent an entire week or two cold calling trying to find projects for myself, and the general response has been, "What are you calling me for? I'm out of business." Right? Or people just not even picking up the phone at all. So this is this is really bad, you know. Plus, you've got Google crackdown on the email, which means that most people who have acclimated themselves to using cold email marketing are now finding themselves not being able to crack through uh, crack through the wall and find an opportunity. So it's becoming really, really, really hard to find money right now and to find opportunities, business opportunities and money-making opportunities right now. It's hard. It's hard. There's layoffs, there's poverty everywhere, uh, and and it's because of economic stability within the business world. The business world is uncertain of itself. It doesn't know what to expect. It and as a result of this uncertainty, there's lack of investment, there's fear, uncertainty, and doubt about what they can do. There's there's just lack of money to be able to pay the people that they thought they would have needed to be able to produce the products that they felt would be necessary. And now they're just everything's being put on hold. I mean, even the great Elon Musk with his Tesla company has had to lay off massive amounts of people. So uh, this this is an unusual situation, and I I would say that, in a course correcting scenario like this, we're probably looking until summer of 2026 until things get back to the way we've thought of them. And does this matter for everyone? This matters for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a W-2 employee. It doesn't matter if you're a 1099 contractor. It doesn't matter if you're a small business owner. This affects everyone in the area of customers, in the area of employment, in the area of uh, making money. The whole thing, marketing, the whole thing is being put on hold. And this is not just one guy speaking. Uh, this is a macroeconomic perspective I'm sharing here. This is across the nation, and and it's probably going to be like this for the next 2 years. So this means that whatever financial planning that you would have made up until this point in the area of personal finance, you're going to have to put that on hold until the economy starts to pick up. So there might have to be delays in your house, your car, your kids' college education. Um, I would even go so far as to say that. And it's not your fault, okay? So don't blame yourself. You're not alone. Everybody's going through this. And um, and so be encouraged at that. Uh, Now, the Bible says, Proverbs 22:3, the prudent see danger and take refuge. See the danger, acknowledge that it's there, and be willing to work jobs that you don't want to do. Be willing to do that because it might just come down to it being an issue of this is a dangerous situation and there's no other way to get out of it. And that's a scary thought. Earlier this year, I literally had to seriously consider working at Dollar Tree. Do you think I wanted to do that? No. But you have to see the danger and take refuge. And we are really in some really really bad financial times right now. And 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 you gotta understand, man. Your expectations of what the business world can offer you, they always have to be adjusted. Jesus referred to the deceitfulness of wealth. What does that mean? That means that money can provide you all these expectations about what you think money can do. But then all of a sudden, lo and behold, money turns its back on you and money's not there anymore. What? The deceitfulness of wealth deceived you. You landed into what you thought was a stable job, a stable career, and now it turns its back on you and says, I can't afford to pay you anymore. The deceitfulness of wealth. Um, and so there are wrong attitudes that people have about money. Um, but all the while, there is a futility to riches. That's what some of the things in the book of Ecclesiastes is about. I'm holding here in my hand the Word on Finances, Topical Scriptures and Commentary by Larry Burkett, which is a directory of Bible verses on economic subjects. Let him not trust in emptiness, deceiving himself, for emptiness will be his reward. Job 15:20, Job 15:31. Terrors are turned against me; they pursue my honor as the wind, and my prosperity has passed away like a cloud. Job 30 verse 15. Job's business was cattle ranching. He was a cattle rancher. So uh, Psalm 49, 6 to 7, even those who trust in their wealth and boast in the abundance of their riches, no man can by any means redeem his brother or give to God a ransom for him. Don't boast in your riches or trust in your wealth because it could be gone just like that. Uh, it's it's not to say that you shouldn't understand personal finance or read a book or two on it, but you also have to understand that money is kind of fickle. And you might say, well, it hasn't been that way for me for years. Yeah, well, watch what happens in year 7. You're going to experience a surprise. That's the way money is. And because you can't just trust in your resume and trust in everything. Sometimes these macroeconomic things happen and everything gets screwed up. This is why it's times like this that help you to really readjust your point of view about the world and understand that there are powers at work, not only in the natural world, but in the supernatural world above and beyond your career. And it's in those powers that you should put your trust. God being the chief and highest power of all, and the God Most High, who now if that's deism that's clouding your mind and getting in the way of that, then start thinking about God in a non-deist way, you know, because it's times like this that you need Him to pull you through it. There is a way which seems right to a man, but you're wrong. Proverbs 14:12. You're not right about everything. God knows what's right. God knows the answer. You don't. You think you do. You think you do. You're wrong. There is a way that seems right to a man, right? And we can try to, you know, take all the personal responsibility we want and learn all these things about personal finance. And that's good. If you're a man and if you've diligently studied economics and personal finance, that's good. That's good. But that can give you a sense of control. But that doesn't mean it's actually control, right? It can give you a sense. It can give you a sense of control, but that doesn't mean it's actually control. True control, okay, over money comes through the school of hard knocks because the school of hard knocks exposes all of your blind spots. Uh, and even then, it's not perfect. There's a sort of perfectionism that comes with economics. There's a sort of intellectual perfectionism that comes with it. And it's in times like this, and in times of macroeconomic upset, that you realize, okay, I'm not perfect. God, you are perfect. You're all knowing. You're all powerful. You're omnipotent, and I'm not. So I'm going to put my trust in you and reveal to me my blind spots so that I can be that responsible man with what I've been given. But it's time to trust in the Lord and not to trust in things that have let you down. If you've trusted in things that have let you down, it's time to course correct. Uh, and trust in He who created you and put you on this earth. Um, we could know all sorts of things about banking, the stock market, careers, college debt, making incremental payments, budgeting, credit scores, and then you experience job loss and all of that comes to nothing. And it's like, why did I even spend time studying all this stuff? Well, you were trying to be responsible with what you had, but now that you don't have anything, it's time to change your perspective about how to make money. And you might have to work at Dollar Tree. How much pride is in you? How much humility is in you? I mean, it doesn't have to be like this forever, but sometimes we have to course correct. And sometimes that's God's way of humbling us and God's way of disciplining us and you know, but it's okay to have definite views about money. It's not okay when radical changes happen that you still hold and still continue to hold on to the old views and you don't try to adapt to the changes that happen. And that's we have to be adaptable, we have to be flexible, and most of all, we have to be humble, and we have to trust in the Lord with all of our heart and to lean not on our own understanding. God bless you out there. This is John with wesleygospel.com.